Now it's time for the Pirelli National Superstock Thousands with Black Horse. What a class this is. It is stuffed full of talent on these big 1000cc production bikes. It's one of my favourites. Now, remember, last year, 4 out of the 7 winners have gone on to British Superbikes, so it is very, very keenly watched and very well respected. This year, we've also seen the return of Steve Brogan, the ex-champion, and some of the young guns, especially keep an eye out for Lee Jackson, the current Superstock 600 champion, and surely a name to watch for the future. I can't wait, so I'm off to join Jack in the commentary box.
An absolutely full grid for this massively supported championship, with problems straight away from Simon Andrews, coming back from, of course, that not only a terrible leg injury 18 months ago at Snetterton, but also a big crash at the TT last year that damaged his arm and wrist. Simon Andrews will be competing in the World Endurance Championship this year with the Honda TT Legends team, having to push his number 6 machine off second place, the front row of the grid for the Worcestershireman on the RAF Reserves, racing in association with Honda.
And Jack, one thing, he will have to start from the back of the grid. It's exactly the same as Ellison now, so he's going to have to reform in the back of the grid, not go straight through to the front.
A legend that is landscape gardener Adam Jenkinson, who has been rescued by Robin Croft at SMT, for whom he's ridden previously, and has planted Robin's bike on the front row of the grid on pole position ahead of Simon Andrews and his Honda. And John McGuinness, 41 years young, the 19-time TT winner, loving it round here at Brands Hatch, very relaxed on the Paget's Honda. Jonathan Railton, who's already won today on the Ducati Challenge, is there in 4th place, ahead of a very impressive 22-year-old Swede making his debut full-time in the British Superbike Series, Philip Backlund. He heads up Dan Johnson, Peter Ward and Lee Jackson, the reigning 600 Superstock champion, on row 2. Jonathan Howarth, Jimmy Storer, Hudson Kenner and Joel Burns, an impressive row 3. Rob McNeely, former Supermoto champion, Joshie Elliott, the young Irishman, Steve Brogan, a former champion, and Victor Cox, 3rd last year, constitute row 4. Really impressive, because number 6, we've just got news that number 6 must start at the back. Now, that could prove entertaining. Vastly experienced, of course, a lot of British Superbike and Supersport experience. What can Simon Andrews do from the back of the grid? 24 laps ahead of them. This is the Pirelli National Superstock 1000 Championship in association with Black Horse. It's off, and John McGuinness leaps like a young roebuck from the front row of the grid and into the lead. What a start by McGinley. John McGuinness up the hill, and the 19-time TT winner and true legend leads the way.
Yeah, it was a great start from him, really good launch, timed it perfectly. And
it's Philip Backlund who's come launching through behind him. Philip Backlund, a 22-year-old from just outside Stockholm, who actually did a season. The reason his name was familiar to me was he did some rounds of the European Superstock 1000 Championship as an 18-year-old in 2008. And here he is on the thousands, qualified in 5th place. And he's made a sharp move into 2nd place behind a flying John McGuinness. So McGuinness leads it after 1 lap. Backlund 2nd, Jenkinson in 3rd off pole. Jonathan Howarth has made a good start ahead of South African Hudson Kenner. And Peter Ward in 6th place. 7th, Jonathan Railton. 8th, a brilliant start for David Johnson from way down on the grid. Johnson was on row 7.
Here's a start. Look at McGuinness. It's a perfect start. Just a perfect start. Hardly wheelies at all. Used some of that weight of his just to get over the front wheel, and great launch.
I like the way you say used some of that substantial weight of his.
But look at him go. I haven't seen John ride like this
not short circuit wise. He's getting prepared for Magny-Cours in a couple of weeks' time, obviously. Oh, we've got a big faller. That might be John. That's Simon Andrews. Oh no, Simon Andrews. He's on his feet.
Oh, he's okay,
what a relief, because having come back from the injuries that he's suffered in the past 18 months, that is a relief. So the Royal Air Force Reserves Honda of Simon Andrews.
Clearways.
Oh, Clearways.
It's going to be a big...
Oh, and he's gone low-sided.
Well, that's unusual there. It's just over the dip. Normally you see high sides there, but the good news is he's up, he's okay. Obviously he's recovering from that terrible leg injury that he's had last year, so it's...
Number 8, David Ferns from Stockport did well on the Team Green GNS Racing Kawasaki to avoid all that. Number 6, Simon Andrews then trudges off. At least he's in one piece for his Honda TT Legends race in a fortnight's time. He's okay. Oh, he's furious. Yes, it hasn't quite gone according to plan, has it, Simon?
Now, it's worth knowing John McGuinness has lost a lot of time on that last lap. He lost nearly a second,
yes.
0.9 of a second.
Yes.
And so, and this is the moment. Watch John McGuinness.
Oh, McGinley.
Big moment there, John McGuinness. It's too much power. The rear's broken away, and that's cost him a lot of time. Wow. Then it cost him all the way down the straight. It's gone from 2.2 seconds to 1.3 seconds. So,
wow. And that could just be slightly off-putting, I suspect. We've got another faller. Oh, look at this. The four of them. Peter Ward is just clinging on to the front three. So it's McGuinness, Jenkinson, Backlund, Ward at the front.
Yeah, and these four really on their own now. Ward's just about hanging on, but he's got to be careful he doesn't get dropped. He's doing a brilliant job, Ward, but they're just starting to push that pace a little bit.
And here's Jenkinson. Oh, momentarily looking as if he might have sneaked through into the lead. Adam Jenkinson, who of course has ridden for Robin Croft before. In fact, he showed a terrific form early in the season on the SMT Honda back in 2008. And then, if you remember, the gearbox seized flat out at Thruxton, and he broke both his wrists in that British Superbike season early on. Yeah. So Adam Jenkinson, since when he's been in Superstock, his best result 6th in 2011.
Now, this is the closest Jenkinson's been to John McGuinness here. John's just got to keep doing his thing, make it very difficult to pass, keep on line, keep forcing him to the outside where you can. John's got a great drive out of there, and actually he's made it very difficult for Jenkinson to pass. But Jenkinson is going to have a look up the inside into paddock. He comes on the brakes, and yes, he's going to do it. Is he going to run wide, though? No.
Adam Jenkinson takes the lead. The first time that McGuinness has been squeezed out of the lead on the 21st of 24 laps. And he's got the young firebrand Swede right behind him now on that bright green Kawasaki as well.
Yeah, this is the move. You can see number 11, Adam Jenkinson there on the SMT bike, just pulling up the inside, now breaking it. Very neat, very tidy move. Oh, and here
there
comes
again, Backlund has got that move nailed. Absolutely nailed, hasn't he? So Backlund through to second.
Oh, only we got sort of three laps left. Come on, John.
So John McGuinness, can he cling on to on what would be a fairly unexpected podium? Never mind, race win. Peter Ward in fourth. We've got another faller. They're certainly beginning to skittle themselves down in the latter stages of this race. Hudson Kenner, Dan Johnson, Jonathan Railton, Lee Jackson, Joe Burns. They're all nailed together in a huge battle for 5th place behind the leaders.
Yeah, the question is, has Backlund got anything for Jenkinson? I think he might well have. You could see the bike really wriggling as he came out of Druids there. He is still going after this win.
Oh, now this is a really intriguing one, because Backlund kind of had come out of the backwoods, so to speak. No one would have expected him to be qualifying so far up and really pushing in this race. So they're dealing with an unexpected warrior here. Look at this battle going on. There is the red and white machine of Hudson Kenner, number 3. And then that's Dan Johnson, Railton, Jackson, Burns also involved in that scrap.
Yeah, we can see the penultimate lap, so we're on lap 23, just 0.2 of a second between Jenkinson and Backlund, and then just 0.8 of a second back is McGuinness now. McGuinness just trying to consolidate third. He's got to watch out for Ward in fourth as well. But look at this, look at Backlund, he's definitely hungry. Little slide there coming out again.
He really enjoys sliding the bike about, doesn't he? He's not the least bit worried about that. Now Jenkinson's got company, because remember, on the previous 2 laps is where Backlund's managed to pull a pass as they slip through Surtees there.
He's got to be close coming out of here, though, Jack, because the best place to pass is Paddock and Druids, and he is. This is the best run he's got. He's got to move to the inside. He's got to try and get up the inside here if he's going to go past Jenkinson. But Jenkinson will not be an easy man to overtake. Great positioning from Jenkinson there. Very clever. Forces him to the outside. It's the final lap.
And Jenkinson clinging onto the lead with that just perfect positional sense coming down the Bradham Straight, and already riding defensively as they drop into Druids, holding that tight line early on with Philip Backlund right behind him on the Ian Locker Racing Kawasaki. There is the SMT Racing Kawasaki. The first time we've seen Jenkinson out on such a make-of bike. Oh, and there's Backlund looking for that inside line. He's pulled that move previously on his rivals. Couldn't quite make it stick on Adam Jenkinson. Now he's got to try and find a way through as they hit McLarens, then Clearways, into the Clark curve. Surely Jenkinson's got this, but Backlund's going to go to the outside. Jenkinson begins to squeeze him out. Backlund switches to the inside. Jenkinson has it for SMT Racing Racing and Robin Croft. A great comeback for Jenkinson, rejoining Robin Croft and winning the first race. Fabulous ride by the Swede Philip Backlund. Third, and a terrific ride by the 19-time TT winner, number 77, John McGuinness, who congratulates Adam Jenkinson. So this is how it looked at the end of an incident-packed and enthralling race. Adam Jenkinson gets the verdict for Robin Croft's SMT Racing Kawasaki team. Philip Backlund for Ian Locker's ILR Racing Kawasaki squad is second. John McGuinness, Paget's Honda, third. The IDAC Kawasaki of Peter Ward in fourth place. Hudson Kenner next up, number 3, the South African on the Homer Racing Leonic Balance Link Cell Kawasaki. Sixth place for Lee Bob Jackson on the built-based BMW, ahead of, now that is Dan Johnson, not Dave Johnson, that's Dan Johnson on the Angel Racing Kawasaki, the Berkshireman in 7th place, ahead of Geordie Joel Burns, Jonathan Railton and Steve Brogan. 3 Kawasaki's round out the top 10, ahead of Jonathan Howarth, who had a splendid first half to his race. Victor Cox, 3rd in the championship last year, a mere 12th ahead of Jimmy Storer's BMW, Rob McNeely's Kawasaki, and James East, former 600 runner, newcomer to this class, nabs the final place ahead of Jonathan Lodge, Joshy Elliott, Dan Stewart, Paul Curran and Johnny Blackshaw. So congratulations, Jenkinson. He wins the opening round of the National Superstock 1000 Championship.